So, yeah, over in Indonesia, it's basically the start of a civil war. People are burning everything down government buildings, cops, the presidency, whatever's in reach. No one's okay with what's going on anymore. Remember the riots in Paris after that soccer win? This makes that look like a cartoon. I don't know if you caught it, but these folks are literally prepping a Molotov cocktail while there's still people in the car. That's where we're at. Then they decided to head to the home addresses of government workers, ministers, MPs, whoever, break in hard, loot everything, and torch their places, their private homes. People are losing it, and honestly, damn, they've never been more justified in their lives. Small detail that's kind of funny. Macron visits Indonesia, and 2 months later, everything goes totally off the rails. Like, for real. Here's the part that sucks. Among the buildings getting toasted, some still had state employees inside. A few of them didn't make it out in time. It's bad. If you find a French outlet covering this, they'll probably say it's because during a protest a few days ago, a scooter delivery guy, like an Uber Eats type, got run over by a police armored vehicle. That did happen, and yeah, it didn't help. But that's not the reason the country's getting torn into 16 pieces. About that armored truck, the guy took the hit. It was more or less deliberate. He didn't oops it, he aimed, and once it happened and he was on top of him, he could have stopped, but he chose to drop it into gear and keep going with a 4 or 5 ton rig. You see the problem, but that's not why the whole country's split to bits. It's because the citizens just got dealt the biggest screw job of their lives. You'll get why the indecency is VIP plus level. We've rarely seen anything like this, especially in a supposedly civilized country. First off, basics. Cost of living there is impossible. Staples, food, totally out of reach for an average Indonesian. People are struggling just to eat. That alone puts everyone on edge. But the big thing is the government passed one law that basically rewrites like 80 other laws. No joke. And they had themselves a field day. They slashed the minimum wage. Guess it felt too high to them. Right now, the average salary in Indonesia is like 170 to 300 euro. They also upped the maximum hours your boss can force on you. No special compensation, no extra pay for overtime or nights. You just work more. Period. Another change, they made firing people easier. Now an employer can just can you with some BS reason or none. And on top of that, severance when you do get fired, practically nothing. Before, like here, you'd at least have to be paid certain things when they let you go. Now it's almost gone. You're just getting hosed. Simple as that. And because bad news comes in threes, they also cut the perks you get with a permanent contract, our CDI. At this point, it's barely worth it. There's almost no upside to being on a CDI. So job insecurity for everyone, fixed term, permanent, whatever, you're screwed. The likely last straw a few days ago, raises for people working in government, the presidency, MPs, ministers, all of them. Let's have a laugh. The numbers. Government members, parliamentarians, etc. now take home 6,000 euro net per month. And on top of that, they get 3,000 euro every month to cover their personal rent and bills. To help you visualize, say the average French take home is about 2,000 euros. It's like our deputies and ministers pulling close to 100,000 euros net per month. Okay, 80,000 euros, but you get the idea. Over there, while everyone's starving, jobs are gone, people are flat broke. They give themselves a raise and now make more than 36 hens, a normal Indonesian salary. Can you grasp the clown show? We're talking pretty much everyone in government, like 580 people getting that bump and that stipend. Basically, the whole crew. That's VIP level government side corruption. Here's a cop flipping off protesters, for example. The people rise up because they're being treated like cattle, milk them dry until there's no life left, and the cops mock them, flipping the bird like what you're doing is useless. Banned from criticizing the government. And of course, there are other laws that went down, like a lead balloon, stuff floated ages ago, but now actually enforced this year. Like it's now banned, yeah, banned, to badmouth the president or the government. You're not allowed. Do it and you get arrested. No sex before marriage. Another crowd pleaser, the law now bans as in 1 year in prison, having sex with someone you're not married to. You meet someone, want to seal the deal, not married, enjoy your year in jail. And it's 6 months if you live under the same roof with someone you're not married to. And I'm talking all of Indonesia, not just a few regions. For the brainiacs among you, Yes, there are areas where the law is a bit different, Aceh and elsewhere, where Sharia is applied. Indonesia's a country, pretty sure it's the largest Muslim population on earth. Some regions run kind of like microstates, not literally, relax, and apply Islamic law, Sharia, etc. Uh, Jail for eating pork. I once did a video about something that happened in one of those places with Islamic law. It was about an influencer, a TikToker, that's Instagrammer, who left that region, maybe even left the country. Pretty sure she went to Bali to try a chip. She went live and her viewers were like, "You've never tasted pork? At least try it once." So she nibbles a pork chip, and when she tries it, she says it's not even good and doesn't eat more. But when she flies back, the police are waiting at the airport. Next day, she's in front of the Islamic Council. Boom, 2 years in prison, plus things we're not going to discuss on video, and a fine she'll probably never be able to pay. All that for a single bite of pork. If you're a Muslim woman, don't forget your desires are your worst enemy. Desires lead to the devil. Look, that's their thing. They do what they want on their turf. Honestly, they really do because it's their region and it's among themselves. But the no sex without marriage rule, that's all of Indonesia now. And it's a massive problem for a lot of people. For ages, they've had to juggle between religious pressure pushing across the whole country and more secular pressure from folks who want things to stay at least somewhat neutral. The population is increasingly majority Muslim, so there's less and less reason for religious pressure to have less weight than secular pressure. So they're constantly trying to jerry rig something to keep people happy. And bit by bit, laws that used to apply only in some regions now apply nationwide. And yeah, I know the comments will instantly turn into open season on religion. Honestly, I don't care. People can do what they want as long as their choices don't trample other people's freedom. Sadly, that's kind of what's happening there. Some folks have zero interest in living that kind of life, but it's being forced on them because they're increasingly a minority, and they get less say. The government hides everyone. Anyway, what's happening in Indonesia right now? It's everyone. All religions, all cultures, Indonesians across the board want to burn the government down, period. And it really shows how good we have it at home. The reason it's blowing up so hard in Indonesia is because, unlike in France, here we always manage to have just one enemy, the other political side, the people farthest from our views. But in the end, it's citizens versus citizens while the government watches from afar with binoculars. In Indonesia, it's everyone turning on the government. And let's be real, the situation we're in is engineered. That's exactly what states want to avoid at all costs, that every political faction unites against them. The day that happens in France, given the history French citizens have, I think we'd shock the planet. If that ever happens, the French will stun everyone. So, how is Indonesia handling this uprising? How are they fixing it? Right back to the dictatorship playbook: total censorship, total control over social media. And this part was tucked in nice and neat, pretty packaging and all. The Indonesian government urgently summoned Meta and TikTok and told them, "It's over. We're cutting this. We don't want a single video about this coming out of Indonesia." Um, so put in algorithms, IP blocks, whatever you've got. We want to see nothing online. And yeah, they had to bend the knee. Government's the sun, right? Also, excessive force. You can see it now. The army's out on the streets. They're starting to empty magazines, rubber bullets and tear gas for now, but this could escalate fast. I talked to people I know in Indonesia. They wouldn't be surprised at all if those rubber rounds switched to live ammo. Not at all. They also just rolled out a law specifically for what's happening now. Live streaming is banned for the time being. No Facebook lives, no TikTok lives, no Twitter X lives, whatever. You're not allowed to go live in the street because, again, no images can leak out of the country or let citizens realize just how massive the mess is. And since everyone is in the streets burning everything, everybody already knows. So this just makes protesters even more furious. Another funny bit: the official talking heads, government on TV, claimed it's all funded by foreign countries trying to destabilize Indonesia. Not a social issue at all, they say. Indonesians aren't actually mad. What you're seeing are paid agitators sent to things up everywhere. Regular Indonesians are like happy with life, which evil countries, they won't say. But supposedly some bad guys are bankrolling it. That's just the government trying to wash its hands of this. Indonesians are genuinely losing it. It's not about other countries. And this is rich. The KPID, the Communications and Broadcasting Authority, has ordered, meaning you don't have a choice, every media outlet, TV channels, radio, websites, social platforms, not to show violent images or describe scenes that might highlight that Indonesians are furious. If they talk about it, they're only allowed to show peaceful stuff, places where Indonesians speaking aren't heated about the government, more chilled. You can't show things burning, you can't show smash stuff, you can't show Indonesians yelling or swearing. Banned. Are we not in full-blown dictatorship territory at this point? The army is literally in the streets, remember. Police smash the security cameras. Icing on the cake. When the police or army roll into a specific street or area to calm protesters, and we all know what calm means here, like magic, the public surveillance cameras go dark. They just shut off. Protests kick off, stuff gets smashed and burned, and suddenly every street cam goes down. Then the police and army move in. When they leave, the cameras miraculously come back on. Incredible, right? Apparently, it's not intentional. Definitely not the government doing it on purpose. Must be technical issues that only happen every time the army or police show up. Tough luck, I guess. People are so fed up, they're turning paranoid. Posts with millions of views show planes flying over with weird-looking payloads, and right after that, boom, monsoon downpours, thunderstorms. So Indonesians are like, look, they're modifying the weather, dumping stuff in the sky to trigger heavy rain so it's harder to protest or whatever. Obviously, that's not realistic. It's extremely hard to pull off. A few folks tried with drones and it didn't go great. No, don't go thinking Indonesia's doing that. But it shows you the state of mind. General paranoia, because they hate their government so much they'll believe anything. All they want is for it to collapse. What could happen in the next days or weeks? It could chill out overnight or blow up overnight. I spoke with a contact in Indonesia who said the people there tend to go to extremes. But maybe this time there were so many legal changes, so much awareness raised, so many freedom-killing measures that it might not stop. And if it doesn't, it's going to end badly because neither the citizens nor the government are just going to let it go. If this doesn't wind down fast, it's going to get really grim.